I'm Leon Lott. I'm the sheriff of Richland County. I've been the sheriff for 26 years now. This is my 48th year in law enforcement, something I started 1 month after graduating from the University of South Carolina. Did not major in criminal justice. I majored in sociology. I chose a little bit different path than most cops do. Loved every minute of it from the very beginning to all the way to today. I think it's still one of the most challenging and rewarding careers that anybody could ever have. I look forward to coming to my profession every day. Getting arrested at 16 years old for egging police cars. I got arrested for egging police cars and had a huge impact on my life. It kind of got me going in the right direction. Not that I was a bad kid. It was just some teenage pranks that we did, and I got caught. And the way they helped me understand what I was doing was very dangerous, could have killed somebody. It made me think twice about decisions I was making as a teenager. And then in college, I realized that this is something I wanted to do, is help people just like I've been helped. My career goal was play baseball, be a professional baseball player. Played 2 years in college. I was good, but I realized I wasn't good enough for the major leagues. So this was something I wanted to do. So kind of a strange story when people ask me that, what got you in the profession, and I'll tell them being arrested. It kind of takes them back a little bit. I started as a cop, and I'm still a cop. 48 years later, I'm still a cop. That's one thing I impress upon all of our people here. It doesn't matter what rank you carry, you're still a cop. You still carry a gun, you still wear that badge, and you're still going to be a cop. Did not have any desire to be a sheriff whatsoever. My goal when I got into this profession was to work in narcotics, work undercover narcotics. I was able to do that for 9 years. At that time, I was hired by Sheriff Frank Powell, and he gave me some unique opportunities. He gave me my first leadership opportunities, and that was to lead a narcotics unit. I'd been a deputy and been an investigator, and he saw something in me that I didn't realize, and he put me in charge of the narcotics unit, and we grew it to where it was over 30 people at one point, which was the largest in the state. And that started me on my leadership path. So if there's one person that was responsible, it's going to be Sheriff Frank Powell. It's the opportunities that he gave me to go to various schools, to include the FBI National Academy, which only 1% of all law enforcement worldwide gets to go. I was selected to go in 1988. And really that's the graduate level of law enforcement, is when you get to go to the FBI National Academy. They teach you a lot of leadership skills there. And then be able to come back to Richland County and use those, and go from Richland County to being a police chief. I was a police chief of St. Matthews for 3.5 years. And one thing I always said when I was in the ranks, even as a deputy and investigator, that if I ever became a leadership position, there were certain things I was going to do and I was not going to do. I'd seen bad supervisors and I'd seen good supervisors, and I always took note of that and made sure that I was never going to be one of those bad supervisors who cared more about yourself than you do the people that you're leading. And so that's kind of been my cornerstone throughout my career. Our business is to sell safety. We are a business, and we have our customers. Our customers are the citizens that we serve. And so we have to have a marketing strategy. We have to do everything that any other business has to be successful. And I think a lot of law enforcement agencies don't look at what we're supposed to be doing that way. They think it's just all cops and robbers and going out and locking bad guys up. It's a lot more than that. It's about building relationships with the citizens you serve. It's more about being proactive, which is preventing crime and not just reacting to it. And so our business is to sell safety, make sure our citizens are safe, and you do that by working with the citizens. So we put a lot of emphasis on that. Just simple things that you might not realize as part of our marketing strategy is that we have peace officer on the back of our cars. We have peace officer on the back of our uniforms, changing the image and the narrative of what we do. When we say we're in law enforcement, it really sounds like all you do is enforce the law, which is only a small percentage of what we actually do. Our job is to keep the peace, and you do that many, many ways, and that includes arresting bad guys. There's so many other things that you do that's not arresting people, that you're selling our product, which is safety. If you're the disciple of the Bible, it's blessed are the peacemakers, they'll be called the children of God. So, we're peacemakers, we're peace officers, and that's what we do, is keep the peace. So when we were approached some years ago by an organization who were trying to improve relationships between those who wear the uniform and our citizens, they said, would you consider putting peace officers on your shirts and on your cars? And we did. Citizens loved it. But it's not just something you wear, something on the back of you. It's got to be a philosophy. It's got to be a belief that your people who work here, wear this uniform, understand that our job is to keep the peace. So when you're out there visiting a senior citizen and helping them when it's 150 degrees in their house and you get a fan for them, or you're helping a young child make decisions, or building friends with them, that's keeping the peace. It's not locking anybody up. So we were one of the first agencies to do that, and now it's taken off nationwide. It's kind of the catch-all now is what can we do to improve relationships, and people are looking at us and saying, they've been doing this for years. Why don't we do the same thing that they've been doing? And after the George Floyd incident with riots and stuff, everybody wanted to create citizens advisory councils, and they wanted to do more with the community. We've been doing that for years. That's been our foundation that we built starting 26 years ago. That's why we didn't have the problems that you had in other areas, because of the relationships that we had built, running it as a business. I'm the CEO. I'm called a sheriff, but essentially I'm a CEO of a company, and we're selling that product, and we're building a good foundation, a good reputation, and that pays off dividends when there's a critical incident. And we saw that with the riots, where we did not have the problems that most areas had, because the people here trusted us, believed in us, wanted to work with us, and that when you have that, you're not going to have the problems. This profession is ever evolving. I realized that what we were doing 48 years ago when I started doesn't work today, and we have to change. And everybody resists change, particularly those in police work resist change. We're the opposite. We look for change. We are constantly looking, what can we do different that's going to make us better? We're good, but we just don't sit back. So what are we going to do? We look at technology. We look at what relationships we can build with other people. We reach out. I'm an athlete. I've played sports my whole life and still like to do that. Building relationships with our university, with athletic teams. That's just not just going to a football game or basketball game. That's getting to know the players and letting them know us and building a relationship. These are the leaders of tomorrow, or those who are playing our sports. You have to look for ways to reach out to people. It's all about building relationships. This is not an island. The Sheriff's Department's not an island. We're not in a silo. We're just part of this community. So why not reach out to all aspects of the community? Technology plays a huge role in it. When I started, there was no technology, basically. You had a radio in a car, and that was about it. Now we've got computers, we've got cameras, we've got body cams. Everything now you can do on a computer. We learned during COVID how much you can do over Zoom calls. So why not do meetings with your community now? If somebody can't come to you personally, you do a Zoom call with them. So our deputies teach me every day. And that's another thing we pride ourselves on, is I don't have all the answers, but I got 900 people who work here. That's 900 brains. Why not tap into that? So every deputy here, every employee here has a voice, and that voice is to me. And I say, okay, what can we do better? What technology is out there? And so they lead this department. I'm just the one that says, yeah, that's a great idea, let's do it. But they come up with the ideas. Some 21-year-old that just graduated from college has got lots of ideas. Why not listen to them? And that's one thing that when I started in 1975, my voice was not heard because I just got out of college. You didn't know anything. You've never been a cop before, so we're not going to listen to you. And I had ideas back then, so I've always said, okay, we're always going to listen to people. And I think any company or any business, that's how they're successful, is the CEO surrounds herself with the best people who are smarter than he or she is, gives them a mission and the tools to do what that mission is, and then let them go do it. And have it, everybody. I believe in the team concept, TEAM, together everyone accomplishes more. And so this team here uses technology, it uses relationships, it's just everything we can to be successful. It is not just chasing a bad guy. It's so much more, but so much more than that. Watching my deputies grow and become chairs, police chiefs, solicitors, heads of higher-ups in FBI, DEA, all these other agencies, watching them grow. To me, that's the greatest accomplishment that you can do, is that somebody helped me climb that ladder of success, and what my job is to reach down and help others climb that ladder. And being here as the sheriff for 26 years, I've watched them come in like I did at 21, not knowing anything, and now they're leading agencies. That's more rewarding than any plaque or trophy or anything that you can ever get. It's just watching somebody succeed. Think before you act. Make good decisions. Think of the consequences of what your action is going to cause. And I think so many young people just react or don't think beyond that moment. And I want them to think. And so I'm press upon them. Think about your actions. Think about, is this something that your mama would approve of? And think, do you ever listen to that little voice inside you called your conscience? It doesn't lie to you. It'll tell you that you're doing something wrong, but do you listen to it all the time? So the message is to make good decisions. You got a lot of life in front of you. Don't throw it away in an instant because of anger or greed or anything like that. Think about your decisions. And then when you do stumble and fall, you get back up. Failure is an event, not a person, unless you allow it to define who you are. We're all going to fall. I failed at 16 and got arrested. I didn't let that define me. I learned from it and used that to grow. So life's a roller coaster. You're up and down. And you just got to learn when you're down, that's when you got to work the hardest to get back up.